If there was ever a Tuesday game in December that we reference sometime in the summer where we say, oh, man, they play that team on a Tuesday night in December, how many people are going to check in? It's the Wizards on this Tuesday night as the Sixers host Washington for game one of the 4 games this week. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers pregame show live from the Xfinity studio. Along with Rich, I'm Devon. Bree is back. Welcome back, Bree. She's the president of basketball operations. All of you in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. It is the Wizards, but guess what? They need a win, much needed win tonight for the Sixers, and they need to go out there and do just that. Sixers are playing the Wizards on the second night of a back-to-back for Washington after handling their business at home against the Giannis-led Milwaukee Bucks. They come to town feeling pretty good about themselves, but a depleted roster that we will get into a little bit later. We'll talk about the, of course, 3 or 4 that they have this week, the Sixers. We'll get into Joel Embiid's approach a little bit going forward, and our Bet365 picks presented by Bet365, which our show is presented by Bet365, whatever the moment. Download the app using code PHLY365. And before we get started, Rich, and talking about the new unquestioned leader of the Philadelphia 76ers, we got to tell everybody that, hey, we got that sale going on, $26 to become a diehard member, all in right now. Get in there, sign up, $26. That's less than that's like 3 cents a month, everybody, for the rest of the year to make sure that you are covered for your intro year at $26 a month to get all the great written content from the Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, and Rich's newsletter as well. You also get a free t-shirt when you do sign up, access to the Discord to have the questions and arguments that you want to with the people in the diehard community. And you can also give this gift to someone for $26 that's a big sports fan of all of the franchises here in town. So make sure you go sign up. You got until 11:59 tonight.
Got to do it tonight.
Got to do it tonight. $26. You can't beat that. Like Derek said yesterday, we use that buying food on a daily basis, just going to get something to eat, having lunch or having dinner. $26. Get that for yourself. Get that for your loved one, maybe a coworker that you have in the Pollyanna in the office, and it's like a $25. You could spend the extra dollar, $26 on the Pollyanna to get someone a free membership right there for $26 that you pay for at allphly.com. Go sign up. Make sure you do that, please. Also, it's been a day of giving here at PHLY, and the network is for the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, where we've teamed up with them. The fundraising is going on, the day of giving. So please, if you could, make sure you go jump in and support the Big Brothers, Big Sisters that we have going on here. It's been a great thing going on all day long today, where it's been ongoing great stuff. How did the Eagles do it earlier today, Rich, with the...
I think most of the shows have had challenges for... I think if people gave a certain amount of money, that the coach or the host would do some embarrassing things or some other things. Maybe we'll have something cooked up for later in the show, later after the game tonight, Devon.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. All right. So make sure you go sign up again to become a Big Brothers, Big Sisters member. If you can, if you just want to simply donate, please do so. Go check out Big Brothers, Big Sisters and all the great things that they have going on right now. You can go to allphly.com, get all the information you need as you make your donation, and we thank you very much. All right, Rich, let's get things started here as the Sixers host the Washington Wizards. Again, the Wizards on the second night of a back-to-back. With that being said, the Sixers have another opportunity to come out here and win a basketball game. Tough loss, double OT. We discussed it. We broke it all down on Sunday. Now you regroup. Now you get right back at it. Joel Embiid not playing tonight, so we'll tell you about that right off the out of the jump. He's not playing tonight, so you know what you're working with. We'll give you the starters a little bit later. But Paul George said something post-game that was interesting in regards to this team. Maxey being Paul George, and everyone asked about Maxey missing the 2 free throws. He had a fantastic game finishing with the 44, but the 2 free throws stand out is what we discussed after the game, because look, it cost him the game. They would have iced it had he made those at the end of the first overtime. That being said, still a lot of good things said, and his teammates had his back. Paul George, we've asked this question a lot. Whose team is it? How far can they go? Does he have it? Well, on the floor with the third in the league and scoring right now, just some fantastic play from Tyrese Maxey. He has been tremendous with the work that he has done. The other part is just having those guys follow and understanding that it is, in fact, this team. Well, Paul George had this to say after Sunday's loss when asked about the two losses, the two misses out there at the free throw line. Paul George mentioned, well, you know what? Let's let him tell you.
Man, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. There's no question about it. He's a warrior. He's a fighter. He takes so many hits, teams holding, grabbing. He hits the ground so many times. He bounces right back up. Again, I keep saying it, man. It's just it's a leadership about him. And when he's out there, I play for him. I play for him. I do everything I can to make the game easier for him. He's our guy, so it's inspiring. As me as a vet, it's inspiring for a guy to consistently do it and to be efficient. To be efficient with all the minutes that he's playing. It's impressive.
Is that Bodner quality camera there?
Yes, it was. Pretty good, right? He's got a good camera.
Not exactly a flip phone.
not the Xfinity rundown that you're going to give him right now. All right, but he's got it covered there in the arena. With that said, though,
because he's in Xfinity arena.
There you go.
That's why.
I play for him.
Yeah. I thought that was almost more interesting than what they did on the floor during the game. I think there was an acknowledgement that this is Tyrese Maxey's team from both Paul George and Joel Embiid. Also talked about it later. I mean, Joel Embiid, he said, I know what it's like to have to shoulder the load that he is currently shouldering. And I mean, he really, Devon, he is Joel Embiid from 2021, in my opinion, right now. They are 12 points per 100 possessions better with him. That was a Joel Embiid thing for his entire career. He's being let down with, mainly their unavailability for sure, Paul George and Joel Embiid. But Joel Embiid was a guy, who didn't have a lot of help. And if you remember, Devon, during that 2021 season, Ben Simmons was holding out. So this is 2021-22. Ben Simmons is holding out. Daryl Morey was comfortable being uncomfortable. He was holding on to Ben Simmons until eventually the trade deadline and he got James Harden. But if you remember, when Joel was putting up those huge scoring efforts and he was basically carrying the Sixers to, I think they were a top 2 or 3 seed for most of that, the first 2/3 of that season, everybody was saying it is criminal to not get this guy some help. And that's the way I feel about Tyrese Maxey right now. The unfortunate thing for the Sixers is that because of the Joel Embiid and Paul George contracts, it's hard to get him some help, right? You had that Ben Simmons trade chip, which you didn't know what that was going to turn into. It ended up turning into James Harden. You had to attach some other stuff to him as well. It's a little bit more of a hopeless situation now in terms of these guys, unless they start playing a lot more and playing better, they're going to be negative assets at this point. But I do have that same feeling watching Tyrese Maxey, unquestionably his team. And it is good that Joel and Paul both have gotten there and said, of course, because it's a no-brainer.
That's where it's huge because we've asked a lot of how are they going to respond when they come back and they have to kind of adapt to him, or how is he going to adapt to them? That's no more. Number one, he already knows how to play with Joel Embiid. He's done so for the last now 6 years. Paul George, he played a decent amount of games with him a season ago, but even in the offseason, they discussed about how they wanted to get together to make sure that they increase their chemistry as best as they can before the season got underway. Now, some injuries got in the way of that, of course, with Paul George, but you can have those conversations. You can look at film. You can talk on the phone, FaceTime, to kind of do some of those things where you're just around each other in some way, shape, or form. He's been available for all now 20 of these games that they played tonight where they have not. And the way that he has come out and helped them jumpstart the season to that 4-0 record, 5-1 that they had before, 5-0 record, 5-1 when they lost to the Bulls that night in Chicago. It's been clear that he has taken that leap that we were questioning for quite a while, even as early as last season, just because of the fact that he did not get off to a good start, knowing that Embiid and George weren't available at the start of the 24-25 campaign. But that was not the case this year. He came out right away, had a 40 spot on open tonight against Boston, and they just kept running. And right now, where we are after him winning the first Eastern Conference Player of the Week, and where we are right now, where he's still the third leading scorer in the NBA. He had 44 in the loss in double overtime against the Hawks on Sunday. The two missed free throws aside, what was big was how he responded really in that fourth quarter. After having those struggles in the second and third where it did not look like he had it in the fourth quarter to help get them back into that game in overtime, where he drove by people maybe twice and got some really easy layups because some tired legs, well, his weren't. And the fatigue that I thought was there wasn't. He fought through it, dug deep, and got them to that spot. Now, maybe the fatigue did play a part in the missed free throws. I don't know. But what I do know is that this is clearly his team. And we've now shifted that focus to, even in the offseason when they drafted VJ Edgecombe and you knew Jared McCain was coming back, Quentin Grimes eventually getting his contract situated, that this was going to be about the four guards that most people were excited to watch and see how this team really went, how they went based on what the guards did and most importantly, what Tyrese Maxey did. And when Edgecombe got off to that fantastic start, we'll talk about him a little bit later with the piece that Derek wrote at allphly.com. It again shifted the focus of this is the future of the Sixers, these two young guards in the backcourt. But for the two veterans that are also all-stars, Hall of Famers in their own right here, to finally basically rubber stamp it, Joel's been calling Tyrese Maxey the franchise for a long time. It is now clear and obvious that it is his franchise, and it's huge to hear those two say that.
Yeah, I mean, my worry is that he just doesn't have enough around him, right? And there's an argument in the chat already with, how much blame should Tyrese be getting for the Sixers' up and down play? Here's my answer, everybody: none, because he doesn't have any help. And no, he is not
scoring 33 points a night efficiently.
He's not the level of player that Joel was in his prime a few years ago. He's a step down from that, right? Joel was MVP level at that point, but he just doesn't have any help, and they need to get more around him. They have two guys making $100 million who are part-time players, and I think the roster around him also is still, it's still very much a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, is he as good as Joel a couple years ago? No, but I don't blame him at all for that. I'm just addressing the people in the chat on that. And by the way, like, he plays 40 minutes every night. Like, wouldn't it be nice, Devon? I wrote this in the newsletter today that wouldn't it be nice if they could tell Tyrese Maxey, hey, we're playing Washington in the night. It is the schedule win of all schedule wins, right? Washington, they are 16 after a big win over Doc Rivers Bucks last night. They get it up to they're 3-16. That is a 12-win pace on the season for the Washington Wizards. It'd be nice if you could tell Tyrese Maxey, hey man, you're playing 40 minutes every single night. You know what? You earned it. Like, go sit on a beach for a couple days, right? We're not playing again until Thursday night against Golden State. Go get off your feet, sit on a beach, do something. You're playing entirely too many minutes. But no, the Sixers have a bunch of guys out, and he's going to play tonight. And the hope is, hey, this is the schedule win of all schedule wins. I'm not saying it's going to happen for the Sixers because I don't take anything for granted with this team. But this is a team that you should be able to blow their doors off on the second night of a back-to-back for them. Hopefully you're able to limit his minutes to 20-something because you were up by so many points. And even Nick Nurse says, okay, get out of the game. We're winning by so many.
Third quarter.
But he doesn't have that luxury, and he continually has to play all of these minutes. So it's hard.
So quick question before we take our first break and we start discussing the Joel Embiid a little bit. I ask you this just quickly, and I know we can have this conversation longer another day. What's the best type of team you would like to see built around Tyrese Maxey? Because you mentioned the two contracts with George and Embiid. Fine. All right. Edgecombe is there. McCain is there. Up in the air right now, Quentin Grimes. Nobody else is really, though, where you're really married to. What's the best, especially seeing this version of the NBA? What do you want to see best around him? Is it length at the wing position? Rim running big to go behind you.
Well, they don't have a modern team. They don't have a modern team. Like, they need a stretch big of some sort, which Joel does provide them the rare times that he plays, but they don't have wings, man. Like Paul George makes a huge difference for this team when he plays, but he doesn't really play all that much either. So yeah, I mean, I think you'd need a scoring wing or a power forward type, a power type downhill driver who provides a different element than Tyrese. It's yeah, I mean, you need other really good players around him, and I just think he's in a very difficult situation with this roster. This roster is not very good, guys. It's not. I mean, especially the roster when you have to play Andre Drummond, who is playing great for what I thought you were going to be able to give him, when you got to play him 35, 36 minutes a game. And then you're playing Dominic Barlow and Justin Edwards sometimes is the only wing that you have available, and Kelly Oubre. Like, I think we can say that Tyrese Maxey is in a tough spot, and he's making the best of his situation right now.
Yep. So just thought I'd ask that because of where he is, and this is his team currently going forward. All right, let's talk about Joel Embiid on the other side, how they should handle him going the rest of the way. He's out tonight. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show, Rich, where we said maybe Wednesday off, maybe also Thursday and Friday. Come back on Sunday against the Los Angeles Lakers. How do they handle Joel Embiid the rest of the week and maybe even going forward? We'll ask Rich about that, get your thoughts on it as well. It's the Sixers and the Wizards tonight. Schedule a win, go vote and make that vote on the poll right there that Bree has put up there on the show while we're here on YouTube. Make sure you do that. We'll give you the final results at the end of the show. It's the PHLY Sixers pregame show presented by our good people, Bet365, that we're going to tell you about right now. All right, welcome back here as we tell you about Bet365, whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. Well, we got it right the last game. We'll see if we can do that tonight again as we put together our pregame picks. As always, with the pregame pick segment, 90 million users worldwide with this great app. Also, live in-game betting. As you see the game playing out and you say, you know what? I can foresee things. I see how this is really going to play out. Let me go ahead live in-game bet right here at Bet365. You get early payout offers in the NBA and the NHL. In the NBA, if your team goes up by 20 points at any point during the game, like you might get tonight with Philadelphia and Washington, you get an early payout immediately. And I am going to tell you right now about a couple of things that's happening on this Tuesday, which is, number one, you get a 30% profit boost on any same game parlay that you put together in the NBA tonight. Bang, got that. Also, tonight, you can do this. Up to $10 back in a safety net bet for tip-off Tuesdays in the association. So go do that at Bet365. If you're not a member and you're not signed up, breaking news, everybody. Come on in, sign up with Bet365 because you get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. Win or lose, no one else is doing that but Bet365. Here's how you get it done. You download $10, place a bet for $5, and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Then you can use those on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And for Gene, I'm saving the better one for later. So the other day I was over at a friend's house. I will tell you who that friend was in the post-game show. He was pumped to watch basketball, but his setup was a total mess, lagging, buffering, and switching between apps trying to find the game. He claimed he was a big fan, but I felt like I was fan-fished. See, if you call yourself a basketball fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place, and the way that I watch, it's next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear that it feels like I'm in the arena. And sometimes I've got 4 games going at once because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right there on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, make sure that big fan, I'm going to tell you guys on the post-game show, we call that a tease in the biz, isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers pregame show. Rich, Devon, Bree, all of you, thanks for checking in. Sixers Wizards coming up shortly. We'll check in with Kyle and Derek from the arena during the postgame, hopefully once everything is done. Then. All right, let's get to Joel Embiid. We got to talk about the big fella who played 30 minutes, which was a season high on Sunday in their double overtime loss. But with that being said, he's off tonight. They have a back-to-back Thursday and Friday, which will be a home and away, and then they're back home on Sunday to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. How do you want to see them managing him this week and maybe even going forward, if you have an opinion on that?
Is it bad if I'm starting to care less and less about it?
No.
I think part of the reason I don't really pay as much attention to it is that until this changes, until Joel is even close to the same difference maker he used to be, it doesn't matter, man. He hasn't been very good. And I thought your guys' show yesterday focusing on Joel Embiid's return and what we have seen so far from him this year. I mean, Devon, Andre Drummond, with him on the court so far, they're 8 points per 100 defensively better with Andre Drummond on the court versus Joel Embiid. And that matches up with the eye test. You see that as much as he opens up the offense and the ball is moving and that stuff looks better, Derek put it perfectly. You got to do one of two things. You either got to contest shots and move your feet and, alter shots at the rim. He used to do that better than anybody. He used to just deter people by just being in front of the rim. They wouldn't even try him. Or you got to rebound. You got to do one of those two things. In his prime, he could do two of those things. I would say when he was MVP level Embiid and he had more of the offensive skill, he did one and a half of those things. I think the rebounding tailed off a little bit. It was fine. The overall package was great. But he doesn't do either of those things now. And to the point where Andre Drummond, who I don't think anybody is pretending is some great rim protector or some guy who's able to move his feet, although he's done some decent stuff up at the level because he's got quick hands once in a while. It's more than what Joel has done. The thing that Andre Drummond does, man, is that when they do miss a shot, he does rebound the basketball. He's doing one of two, which is why the Sixers have actually been above average defensively with Andre Drummond on the floor. And I'm not pretending that Andre Drummond is like prime Marc Gasol or like some amazing defensive player. So until that happens, hey, look, I hope we see Joel on Thursday against Golden State. But, it's always an issue with him. But until, Devon, we see even, a little bit of the impact that he used to make, it doesn't matter quite as much because he's giving so much back on the defensive end. It's kind of hurting them a little bit.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all, man. And that's why I wanted to throw it at you because we had the conversation yesterday on the show and I was just curious of where you land. And you saying right away, is it bad that I don't care anymore? No, it's not. It's not because it's too infrequent of when he's out there on the floor versus, him being on the floor versus when he's not on the floor.
I want to see him play. I am a Joel Embiid as a person, a fan. I think he's been through a lot and all of these injuries are tough. But yeah, I mean, he's just not that guy right now. And so, if I'm just looking at the basketball team and the effect on the team, the fact that he's not here tonight, I don't think it really hurts them that much if they do have two other big guys.
Yep, absolutely. So how do you guys feel? Let us know there in the chat. Drummond, well, he's been pretty good. And he's had a nice little bounce back from where he was a season ago, having to deal with some of the injuries and just not looking like himself. The guy's a rebounding machine, getting double doubles and even getting into, squaring up and getting into some, getting into some, almost fisticuffs there for Andre Drummond, which is still
the Fighting
very
Irish.
Funny. That's right. The Fighting Irish. Get the tattoo, everybody. Just put Drummond's face on there now instead of the actual Irish on there. With that said, no Embiid, unless I'm just going to presume, I'm just going to say he doesn't play. I'm just going to guess that he doesn't play until the Lakers game. At the earliest, maybe Golden State on Thursday.
Possible.
Yeah, because he's not playing in the back-to-back, and if he travels to Milwaukee, he's, whatever. So, this week, a lot of times we say, get two of two, split these. They get a break starting tonight. Washington on the second night of a back-to-back where they won the game, Washington against Milwaukee. So they're feeling pretty good, and they have a lot of guys sitting out tonight. Then the Sixers take on the Golden State Warriors on Thursday at home with no Steph Curry. You get a little break. Games. You get a break there. And Milwaukee on the second night of a back-to-back. Last time we were there, we saw them there. Tyrese Maxey dropped 54. No Giannis, though. So we'll see how that goes. Washington did beat Milwaukee last night. Lakers on Sunday. Lakers are back with LeBron. Austin Reeves is playing fantastic. Luka Doncic is playing really well. They did lose last night to the Phoenix Suns.
Let's kick by Phoenix last night, though.
Yeah, shout out Colin Gillespie for going off. Yeah. Good to see that on national TV.
Catholic League,
yeah.
Let's go.
Good to see that on national TV. I think he dropped 8 threes on them. And but that being said, man, looking at this 4-game work week for them, what do you want to see? Do you want to see, at best, is it a split? Or are you looking, no, you need 3 or 4 on this one?
I think the likeliest outcome is a split. I don't know how we're going to get. I mean, I assume
that's how it's trended since the 5-0 start, right?
You get tonight's game, and then you probably get one of the next 3. You play the Bucks on the second night of a back-to-back. Look, they just lost to this Wizards team. They'll have Giannis back for that game. Yeah, I think that is the likeliest scenario. I'll tell you what I want to see tonight, man. I'd like to see VJ Edgecombe have a huge scoring night again tonight. Now, I don't know how much he's going to play because are they still
21 minutes?
Are they still being careful
Sunday.
with that calf, which I would support. But look, this Wizards team is just not very good at anything on defense. Derek had a great piece on our site today where he talked about, the pull-up shooting is still a little bit of a work in progress for him, but it's also been encouraging to see what a consistent catch and shoot guy he's been, especially on pretty high volume. I'd like to see him, get back to that first week and getting downhill. And this is not a team. Sarr is not playing in tonight's game. I saw somebody in the chat mention that he could go for 30. Well, he's not playing tonight, so that's another reason you probably should win the game, right? That they're without their center and a few other guys. I would like to see two guys in particular have big nights because that Hawks team, I was really impressed with their length and their switching the other night.
Sure.
All right, you should be able to get some buckets against this Wizards team. And two guys that I would like to see have huge nights. You assume Tyrese Maxey is going to have a big night. But VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain, I would like to see them. Again, this is a favorable matchup. I'm not saying it will be much more than just confidence and getting things trending in the right direction. But look, you get bad teams on the schedule all year. And if you get the chance to hammer them and put up a bunch of points and look good doing so against them, you better damn well do it.
And the starting lineup for tonight, VJ Edgecombe is in after being questionable all day. Both he and Paul George and Andre Drummond, all questionable going into tonight's game. They're all in the starting lineup with Dominic Barlow and Tyrese Maxey rounding out the starting five. So Maxey, Edgecombe, George, Barlow, and Drummond. That's your starting five tonight. Maxey, we hope, as Rich said, just get all the Maxey stuff tonight. You got McCain coming off the bench. I believe Grimes is
out.
He's out?
I think.
Okay, so Grimes is out. He was also on the injury report today. And with him being out, it's left up to McCain to come in off the bench and give you that offensive punch. So Grimes is out with a right calf soreness. So VJ Edgecombe back with his calf soreness, and you get now Quentin Grimes dealing with the calf soreness. He's also been playing a lot of minutes, right? Yeah, he's also been playing a lot of minutes.
You got to be careful with him.
Right. Yes. And he does too. He's going to his, final year of his contract going into free agency.
Sure, yeah, you don't want him getting hurt.
Don't want him getting hurt. So that's what the lineup looks like for the Sixers. On the other side, Washington is running out CJ McCollum. I believe it was Kaishan George as well with Bilal Coulibaly, Julian Champagnie, or no, it's not Julian Champagnie. It is his brother.
I can't tell the difference between the two of them.
Justin Champagnie.
One of them plays on the Spurs, I think, is a slightly better player, and this one plays for the Wizards.
Yeah.
These twins, man, it's tough.
Champagnie.
He's
starting next to Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley had 22 last night for the Washington Wiz in their win.
Marvin Bagley is playing a lot of center minutes tonight. I know he's somewhat resurrected his career a little bit. Looked like he was going to be out of the league. You should be able to get some buckets on the interior.
Yeah, he'll have his moments against Drummond, but Drummond should have his moments against him. All right, let's get to the pregame picks here. See what we have cooked up with the Bet365 pregame picks during our, of course, Never Ordinary at Bet365. All right, let's get to the picks. We all have some picks in here tonight, Bree. You got yours in too, or just Rich? All right, Rich is back, everybody. Rich's bets. Jared McCain, 3+ 3-pointers at +140. Did not have that in last game. He was quiet. The game before, though, he did hit 4 against Brooklyn in their win. So he's going to have the opportunity. No Quentin Grimes out there to fire those shots up.
No Grimes. Terrible defense, a much different defense. Like I thought Jared McCain struggled last game with Atlanta's length. This is a team that first, he should be able to create shots against much easier than he did against Atlanta, but also, they'll get offensive rebounds and kickouts to him. Like other players will be able to get in the paint, spray shots out to Jared McCain. I like that number against Brooklyn. He got 10 threes up. Jared, get 10 threes up tonight. I think you're going to make 3 of them.
Absolutely. And with mine, I went with a same game parlay of Maxey. 7 assists tonight, but under 40.5 combined points and assists, just because I don't think he's going to have to go nuclear tonight against this team.
That would be there's a scenario where that's great.
Yes.
Because it's like, all right, like he didn't have to go supernova.
And he can still get 30 and 7 and still hit those numbers and sit down at the start of the fourth quarter.
Please, guys, please don't. Again, Devon, do you know what the Sixers are favored by tonight?
I have not looked. Outside of looking for the individual stats, I did not look at the game line.
What do you think they're favored by tonight?
I would say right now, I would give that a 11.5.
Close, which is 11.5 is already a huge number in the NBA. When I checked before the show, they were 13-point favorites and minus 850 for the game. That is just a massive number in the NBA.
Let's check it now.
I get it. This Washington team is not very good.
And it's a back-to-back.
I understand that it should be a schedule win for the Sixers, but man, they just play a close game every single night.
It's still 13.
We'll see. I mean, this team plays a close game every single night, so
yes,
we'll see.
Do. Yes, they do. All right, we will see. And whatever happens, the outcome, we will be back with you after the game to talk about it.
They better win by a lot.
They better win by a lot, including that 13. Push it to the 20 so you can get that early payout at Bet365. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Tell a friend and tell another friend to be with us after the game for the post-game show. For Rich, Bree, I'm Devon. We'll check in with the guys post-game. Enjoy, and make sure you go and take advantage of the $26. Sign up during halftime. Whatever you need to do, spread the word that you can sign up at allphly.com to become a diehard member for just $26. That's up until $11:59 tonight. Go do it. We'll see you at postgame right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show.
We all silly like the mayor.